Mahiru Shirota is a high school student who likes simple things and dislikes complicated things. So he picked up a cat that he named Kuro. The next day, he finds out that Kuro is actually a vampire who only metamorphoses into a cat if exposed to sunlight. Mahiru accidentally makes a contract with Kuro the moment he calls his given name in his human form. Kuro explains that he is a special type of vampire who makes a contract and then serves humans. He can only drink blood from his master and must listen to their orders. Mahiru had made a temporary contract with him, and as long as Kuro doesn't drink Mahiru's blood for 24 hours, the contract is cancelled. Until then, he cannot be separated from Mahiru. While shopping, they are attacked by another vampire, Belkia. Although initially reluctant, Kuro saves Mahiru from Belkia, and Mahiru decides to finalize their contract by making Kuro drink his blood. With the contract made, Kuro becomes a servant vampire called Servamp, and Mahiru is master called Eve. With the power of their contract, Kuro easily defeats Belkia. Mahiru and Kuro are approached by Tsubaki, the vampire who ordered Belkia to attack Kuro. He reveals that there are 7 known Servamp siblings, each representing one of the 7 deadly sins. He then introduces himself as the 8th Servamp of Melancholy. To stop Tsubaki, Mahiru attempts to form a contract with him, leading Tsubaki to try and kill him, but before he can do so, another Servamp, All of Love, saves Mahiru and Kuro. The pair is approached by the Eve of Servamp of Lust, Misono Lysine, who then introduces All of Love, now going by the name of Snow Lily. He demands Mahiru to give Kuro to him to get rid of Tsubaki, but Mahiru instead offers an alliance between them. Misono tells Mahiru of a weapon called lead that Eves get from their Servamp, so Mahiru asks Kuro to give him one, which takes the form of a broom. Meanwhile, one of Mahiru's close friends, Sakuya, is revealed to be one of Tsubaki's subclass. The next day, Mahiru realizes that his memories of Sakuya are starting to disappear. Sakuya then approaches and lures Mahiru and Kuro to an alley where he reveals that he and Mahiru only know each other for a year and admits his connection with Tsubaki. Otajiri attacks Kuro and Mahiru, and the two are saved by Misono and Lily, who manage to defeat Belkia, but Otajiri uses her ability to control his unconscious body. Sakuya then severely injures Misono, and Mahiru, horrified by Sakuya's action, decides to fight despite his own dilemma. Mahiru's uncertainty overflows within Kuro, causing him to lose control of his power. As Mahiru is engulfed by Kuro's power, Sakuya tries to help him, admitting he acted the way he did to convince Mahiru to kill him. Kuro is stopped by the Servamp of Envy, now named JJ, and the subclass are forced to retreat. JJ's Eve, an antique dealer, offers Mahiru a chance to cancel the contract between him and Kuro if he feels like it. The incident leaves Mahiru confused about the way he is using his power. By chance, he meets Tsubaki at a sushi bar and asks how Sakuya became his subclass. Tsubaki explains that Sakuya, along with his sister, used to be abused by his parents. His older sister was forced into suicide so their parents can earn the insurance money, and they forced Sakuya to do the same 6 years later, but Tsubaki saved him by turning him into his subclass. Mahiru confronts Sakuya at the school festival, and the two make amends with Mahiru promising he will stop Tsubaki so Sakuya can be free. Mahiru receives a letter that Kuro quickly dismisses as being a prank. At a summer festival, Mahiru is approached by a stranger and asked to take a silver case to the lost and found stall, as the man had no time to do it himself. On his way, he meets a young man carrying a coffin who claims that there's a vampire sleeping inside it. An explosion occurs and Mahiru finds out it came from a case similar to the one he is carrying. He quickly calls Kuro to throw it into the sky, but it starts falling back too soon. The young man from earlier catches it with his coffin where it explodes, leaving the coffin intact. He introduces himself as Tetsu Sendake, the Eve of Servamp of Pride, named Hugh. After forming an alliance with the two of them, Mahiru is kidnapped by a neutral organization called C3 while Kuro is attacked by 3 C3 members. A C3 researcher, Suhei Tsuyuki, demands Mahiru to give them Kuro, as they also want to stop Tsubaki. He threatens that Mahiru will die due to the distance between him and Kuro. Refusing to cooperate, Mahiru escapes by himself and rescues Kuro. One of Hugh's subclass informs them about a suspicious person defeating another subclass. Mahiru and Kuro tail the person who appears to have captured a Servamp who takes the form of a hedgehog. However, it is revealed that the person, Licht Jekyll and Todoroki, is in fact the Eve of the Servamp of Greed, Lawless, who is on bad terms with Kuro and refuses to cooperate with them. Finding out Licht is a famous pianist and is holding a concert, Mahiru and Kuro go to the concert to try and convince him again, but realize that the concert is merely a trap set by Tsubaki, who had sent subclass to kill Licht and Lawless. Lawless manages to kill nearly all of Tsubaki's subclass himself. however, and he and Kuro have a brief fight after Lawless brings up a past incident that involves the Servamps receiving an order from C3. The fight is stopped by Licht, who himself then almost has another fight with Lawless, but both are stopped by Lawless subclass, Gildenstein. As the situation resolves, Mahiru takes custody of the sole survivor of Tsubaki's subclass to get information. Meanwhile, Tsubaki, enraged by the death of his subclass, directly confronts Lawless. After bringing Tsubaki's subclass, Lilac, to their place, Mahiru thinks that Tsubaki will come and save him just like he did with Belkia. While discussing this, Mahiru notices Kuro acting strange after the incident with Lawless regarding his past. The next day, Licht's manager, Rosenkrantz, explains that Lawless has gone missing and Licht is feeling unwell. Deducing that Tsubaki has attacked Lawless for revenge, Mahiru and Kuro go to look for the weakened Licht, who is fighting Higen, one of Tsubaki's subclass ordered to capture him. Mahiru and Kuro try to help him, but Kuro suddenly becomes a black ball, resulting in Licht's capture. Using the cell phone Higen dropped, Misono makes contact with Tsubaki and demands to trade the greed pair for his subclass. Back at the lodging, Mahiru discovers that Kuro is unharmed inside the ball and vows to return him back to normal. Mahiru and Tetsu try to free Kuro from the ball to no avail. Mahiru remembers the antique dealer who helped him once before, who seemed to know more about vampires, and decides to go to his shop while Misono, Lily, Tetsu, Hugh, Krantz, and Gildenstein come up with a plan to save Licht and Lawless. From the picture in Higen's cell phone and Misono's servant, Dodo, they find out that Tsubaki is staying at a hotel. At the antique shop, Mahiru and Kuro are welcomed by a doctor named Johans who is researching vampires. The antique dealer, revealed to be Misono's older brother Mikuni, explains that subclass can be killed if a Servamp drinks their blood, and that Servamps can be broken by destroying the item that their Eve gave them along with a name. Johans then tricks Mahiru into drinking something that sends him to Kuro's mind. Misono, Lily, Tetsu, and Hugh infiltrate the hotel Tsubaki is staying in while the vampire is not present, only to find out they have fallen right into Tsubaki's trap. Lawless subclass confront Tsubaki to buy some time until Misono and the others rescue Licht and Lawless. Misono and Lily fight against Sakuya on the basement floor while Tetsu and Hugh fight against Tsubaki's remaining subclass. Mahiru, who has entered Kuro's mind, witnesses his memories that show the Servamps having a majority vote to decide whether they should kill their creator or not. Kuro, being the last to vote, decides on killing the person, stating he will personally do the job. This earns him disdain from Lawless, who greatly objects the request. When Kuro goes to kill his creator, however, his resolve starts to waver, but he is still going through his decision. The incident makes Kuro question his own action. Feeling Kuro's uncertainty, Mahiru urges Kuro to face his past and assures that he is there for him, convincing Kuro to return. Lawless and Licht clash against each other after a heated argument. Licht points out Lawless' attempt to run away from reality by devaluing people's lives. This enraged Lawless, who then shows Licht his past. Hundreds of years ago, he was serving a princess named Ophelia who was his Eve at the time, whom he fell in love with. However, he was heartbroken when Ophelia chose to marry a prince from a neighboring country to avoid war. This didn't last long, as Ophelia's marriage was a ploy by her kingdom to attack, leading Ophelia to be executed, but not before she left an inspiring speech that eventually brought peace to both countries. After Ophelia's death, Lawless and the rest of the Servamps are called to a meeting regarding the request to kill their creator. Already in despair after Ophelia's death, Kuro's decision to kill their creator further disillusioned Lawless' view of human lives, and it finally reached its peak when the country that Ophelia sacrificed her life to protect was destroyed by another country. Now knowing Lawless' problem, Licht uses his piano play to urge Lawless to be honest with his own feelings and realize his wishes, as he calls Lawless with his current name, Hyde. With the new resolve, both free themselves from their confinement but then meet face to face with Higen. Lawless and Licht are able to corner Higen, pushing the subclass to unleash his full power. Meanwhile, Mikuni and JJ arrive and save Misono and Lily from Sakuya, urging the Lust pair to go to where Tetsu and Hugh are fighting against Tsubaki's remaining subclass. When they get there, they find out Hugh has disappeared after becoming trapped inside Belkia's magic box. Without any manpower left, Misono decides to retreat until Mahiru and Kuro, now taking the form of a giant black lion, save them, easily defeating the subclass. Back to Lawless and Licht, the greed pair finally defeat Higen using the combination of Licht's piano play and Lawless' swordsmanship just as Mahiru and Kuro arrive. Kuro takes the opportunity to finally reconcile with Lawless. Their relief is short-lived when Leela, still bitter at Lawless for killing his friends, steals Lawless' contract item. The situation worsens when Tsubaki arrives. Tsubaki reveals that he has defeated Hugh and then proceeds to break Lawless' contract item, causing the Servamp to lose his power. He confronts Kuro, recognizing his lion form as the one who killed their creator. Kuro tries to talk Tsubaki out of fighting further, but Tsubaki refuses to listen out of his twisted dedication to fulfill their creator's expectation. While Misono, Tetsu, Licht, and Lawless evacuate with C3's help, Mahiru decides to stay and fight together with Kuro. Confronting Tsubaki, Mahiru's weapon changes into a key that unlocks Tsubaki's past. After being picked and metamorphosed into a vampire by the creator of the Servamps, Tsubaki is unsure of his place among his vampire siblings, and could only rely on his creator until Kuro killed him, which led to Tsubaki seeking vengeance against Kuro. Determined to end the fighting, Mahiru and Kuro struggle against Tsubaki's attacks until Mahiru finally reaches Tsubaki, convincing him to stop. Afterwards, Tsubaki cuts all ties with his subclass and disappears, while Mahiru and his friends return to their normal lives. And there you have it, the Season 1 recap of Servamp. If you liked this video, please drop a like. If you want to see more anime recaps, subscribe and turn the bell notification icon because I upload anime recaps daily. See you in the next video.